Hey guys, Brian here with another video, and this video is going to be part one of my two-part series. I know I keep doing that, but every time I try to make a video that encompasses a lot of things, the videos just winds up being way too long. I just filmed another video and wound up being like a 25-minute video because I tried to group two things into one. So my first video of the two-part series of getting a job in Ireland, and this one is going to be specifically about how I found a job out here. So let's get into it. Okay, so how did I find a job? I haven't made an update video lately, so I kind of need to update you guys on what I'm doing. I'm actually working at a bar, and most of the time I'm bar backing, but then I'm also learning how to bartend, and I have been scheduled on as bartending a few times since I've been out here. So that's really cool, and that's primarily what I wanted to do in the first place, is bartend. So it's really cool that I was able to find a job that helped train me in bartending and has slowly been putting me on as bartending. And it's a lot of fun. I really like it. I wish I was able to do it more, but they did not hire me as a bartender. Actually, they kind of did, but they kind of didn't. But I'm not a bartender, so it's cool that they're just letting me do it in the first place. I did ask them though that's besides the point, but I asked them, hey, I'm leaving soon. Can I start bartending more in the last few weeks that I'm here? And they did say yes, and they have been scheduling me more. Anyway, so how did I find this job? What I did is I came from Galway. I was over on Inishmore. If you guys saw my Inishmore video, my update, what I've been up to. After that, I moved to Dublin, and I decided I'm going to just make it work in Dublin because I want to stay in Dublin. I'm just going to make it work. So I found an apartment out here, and I started walking into every bar I could find that was near the apartment, near downtown, Temple Bar area, right? Because I know people are going to tip more in a touristy area. So I was trying to stay over there, and I was just walking into every bar I could find and asking them if they were hiring. Sometimes they had signs on their window. Sometimes they didn't. It didn't matter. If they had signs on their window, I would go into those first because I knew that they needed employees ASAP. So I printed out 20 resumes, and paper's different out here, remember that. So you have to reformat your resume and then print out 20 resumes. I walked into every bar I could find and I was handing them out. Bars and restaurants, I was handing out my resume. They call it CV out here, but I'm going to call it resume. It's the same thing. So I was handing out my resume, I was introducing myself, asking if they were hiring. I was saying, hey, I saw this sign in the window. I noticed you guys were hiring. Just wanted to drop this off and ask if you found anyone. You know, like keeping it simple, trying to just let them know I'm looking for a job. And if they had any questions for me, then I'd be willing to answer them. And that wasn't working. And I think part of the reason why is because I was kind of timid. I was kind of shy. I was embarrassed. I'd never been here. This is all new to me. I've never been in this bar specifically. I'd never seen this person in my life. I was kind of nervous about it. So I wasn't presenting myself as somebody that was able to work, if that makes sense. But as I continued doing it and continued walking into more and more bars, I was being more and more confident each time because I just kind of didn't care anymore, I guess. I would walk into one bar and I was kind of shy and they'd say no. And then it would kind of make me think like, well, who cares? You know, like if they don't hire me, they don't hire me. Nothing bad happened. So then I'd walk into the next one a little more confident. Walk into the next one a little more confident. And then I also at this time, I wasn't dressing up. I just kind of wore like a t-shirt and like what I've worn pretty much every other video I've made. And then I wore jeans and then maybe a nice pair of shoes, or at least a pair of shoes that weren't too dirty, but not really something that you should wear if you're walking in asking for a job. You'd want to try and dress up a little more. But I was walking in and I was asking for a job and they'd say no. Asking for a job, they'd say no. Asking for a job, they'd say no, and so on and so on and so on. And every day I would go out, I would kind of dress up a little bit nicer each time because I was like, ooh, well, that didn't work yesterday. I should wear a nicer pair of pants. Oh, that didn't work. I should wear a nicer pair of shoes. Oh, that didn't work. I should, comb my hair better. Or I should wear a nicer shirt or something. And I would kind of progressively get more and more dressed up as time went on. And then finally, I just said, screw it. Why haven't I just worn like a nice button-up shirt, pants, not jeans, and my nice shoes, and then just dress up completely as if I was going to something, not in a suit, but if I was trying to dress nice to go to like a dinner or something. So I wore something like that. I wore like a button-up shirt that had like small flowery designs on it, but they were nice, not weird looking, not like a Hawaiian shirt, which I really liked, but not the best for a job interview. So I wore like this shirt, and then I wore black pants that are pants. They're not jeans, and they look pretty nice. And then I had like these shoes on. I don't remember if they're brown or gray, because I have two of them that are nice shoes. And I was wearing, so I dressed up, and I walk into this one bar, and I was friendly with the guy, and I said, hey, I'm just looking for a job. I'm new in town. I just got here on a working holiday visa, and I really want to bartend. And the guy asked me if I have any experience bartending, and I said no, and he said, okay, that's not really what we're looking for right now, but the bar across the street is always hiring, and they always hire new people, and they'll train you on, and it's worth a shot for you to at least go down and ask them. So I walk across the street, and I see this bar, and it's like a door with a sign on top, and then a long staircase going down, and it's kind of dark downstairs, and I was a little worried about it. I was like, ooh, what am I going into? And something that you need to know coming into Ireland in general, everything is vertical in this city, because there's not a lot of room, so you have to go up or you have to go down. So a lot of bars are down in like a basement type of setting, and like you go downstairs and then you're in the actual bar and it's underground. I wasn't used to that yet, so I was a little worried, and I had avoided the other bars that I had seen that were like that at the time, just because they worried me. But this guy said, go into this bar, they're hiring, they're always hiring, they're a big club, they need a lot of employees. So I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go down. So I walked down, a little worried, but I also didn't really care, so I was trying to be as confident as possible, and I make eye contact with, obviously, a manager, just the way he was dressed and what he was doing. Make eye contact with the manager on the way down, and he was kind of looking at me like, who the heck are you? Why are you coming in? We're not open yet. And I opened the door, and then I say like, hello, and he said, hey, can I help you? And I said, yeah, I'm new in town. I just moved here from California. I'm on a working holiday visa, and I'm looking for a job. I was wondering if you guys were hiring. I try to keep it as simple as possible. Tell him like, I just got here. I'm not working. I need a job. And ask him if he was hiring. And almost immediately he said, yes, we are. Come in Monday night for a trial. And the trial I'm going to get into in my next video with some legality issues of them and tips for doing them. But essentially a trial is coming in for a few hours of unpaid work so they can assess your skills and see if you're worth hiring. So he said, come in Monday night for a trial. So I came in Monday night. He kind of walked me around the building as well and told me like a basic outline of what the job is, and asked if I'm looking into being a waiter or if I'm looking into being a bartender or I don't know, a cook. And I said I would love to be a bartender, but every bar I've walked into has said you don't have any experience bartending. There's no point in hiring you. So if being a bar back is what I have to do so I can learn how to bartend, I'm fine doing that. It's kind of what I told him, because I just needed a job at this point. I wasn't going to be picky about bartending or being unemployed. So I told him that, and he did hire me on as a bartender, but made me bar back essentially the entire time I've been working there up until fairly recently, when they've been scheduling me a mixture of bartending and bar backing shifts. And if I was going to stay longer, I think I would kind of switch into bartending more and more often until I completely got rid of bar backing. But I'm going home soon, so that's not an option. But it's still cool. I've been learning how to bartend, working behind a bar, and it's a lot of fun, and I really like it. But that's how I got the job, is I just walked in to every bar I could find, every restaurant I could find, and I was also looking for a waiter position. So I wasn't too picky about where I was walking into. I didn't want to walk into like retail. I wanted to go into, food or drink industry, because that just seemed like the most fun, and also you would get tips there. So I walk in every bar and every restaurant I could find, and I essentially just asked for the manager, introduced myself, said, hey, I'm looking for a job. I just moved here from California and I need to find some work, or I don't know, a very, very short backstory, like an elevator pitch, essentially. If any of you have heard of that from business school, an elevator pitch about myself, trying to tell them a little bit about myself and why I'm right for their company. And they all said no. And then finally, because I think it was a mixture of me being the most confident out of all of the places I went into, me looking the nicest, and honestly, my American accent, because they love the American accent over here as much as we love the Irish accent. So it's kind of like a funny mixture of like, we both like each other's accents. So it's really cool because it was a mixture of my accent. So they wanted to hire that because they really liked it. Plus, I was confident walking down and asking for a job, and I wasn't trying to like hide out in the corner and like, hey, excuse me, can I have a job, please? I stood up straight, shoulders back, walked down the stairs, and I said, hey, my name's Brian, I'm looking for a job. And it was a mixture of my accent, my confidence, and the way I presented myself, the way I was dressed. I was dressed a lot nicer. And so that is what I would recommend you do if you're planning on, if you're looking for a restaurant or a bar style job. Just wear something nice. You're going to feel weird if you're not used to doing it, but it doesn't matter. Nobody else knows you here. They don't know that you feel like an idiot on the inside. You just need to look nice. You need to present yourself as somebody who's worth hiring. So dress up, be confident walking into the places. If you see it from across the street and you know that like they don't see you yet, you can be as scared as you want and you can be like an idiot. But once you get within eye shot of this bar and you know that they can see you through the window coming in, and they might see you. So pretend that they're staring at you walking in from across the street as you're walking up to it from the window. Just pretend that they're watching you. So the second you're within eye shot, get rid of those fears. You could be terrified on the inside, but don't show it. Walk in with confidence. Ask for the manager. Introduce yourself. As a solid handshake. Say, hey, I'm looking for a job, and maybe tell them like your backstory. Like, hey, I just moved here from wherever you're from, and I need a job. I don't know. It's up to you. Rehearse what you're going to say in your head so you have it down. So it doesn't matter how scared you are about walking into this place and introducing yourself to some random person. You're still going to be able to say it. It's just like a memorizing thing. And then if they ask you a question about yourself, just don't lie. If they say like, do you have any experience here? And you do, but not as much as they might want. Don't get into how long of experience you have. I would say just, say like, yes, I do. I worked here at this restaurant, and this is what we did. Don't say I only worked there for, a month or 2 months. Just tell them like what your job was. And that's what I would recommend. You're probably going to get rejected by a lot of places unless you're lucky. But honestly, it's more of like you're playing the odds kind of a game by doing this. So if you walk into one and they say no, and you walk into another one, they say no, and you walk into another one and they say no, you've ruled out 4. And if it's going to take you 100 times, or if on average, let's say, every 100 bars you walk into, 5 of them are going to say yes, you've already ruled out 4 of them that are going to say no. So now the odds are that much higher that somebody's going to say yes. So you're playing an odds game, and you're increasing the odds that somebody's going to say yes every time. And I think the odds get better each time you walk in as well. And you'd want to walk in, hand them your resume, introduce yourself, and then follow up with them. If it's somewhere you really want to work, walk back in a week and say, hey, I handed you my resume last week. Just wondering if you had a chance to look at it and any thoughts you might have. And that's what I would recommend you doing. That's what I do, and I have a lot of fun doing it. If you're looking for more of like a professional business career style job, it's a completely different route. You'd want to go on to a website called jobs.ie. What time is it? Oh, I'll hurry up. You'd want to go on to this website called jobs.ie. I'll try and link to it in the description. And you'd want to, make your resume as good as possible and send your resume to a bunch of different companies and hope that they hire you. Now that one, I have also sent a bunch of resumes through there, and I have never heard back from anyone. But even like Indeed, I've never heard back from a company from Indeed either. So I think it's more of my resume doesn't really fit the jobs that they're looking for. So it's up to you what you're looking for. Me personally, because I'm only here for a short time, I was trying to have fun while I was here, so I was looking for a bartending job, and that is why I was doing the way I did it and walked into every job or in every bar and restaurant I could find. But it's up to you, whatever you want to do, jobs.ie, or try your odds walking into every bar. And if you have experience, it's going to be a huge help as well. Because that was a big question a lot of them asked me is, do you have any bartending experience? And because I said no, they sent me away. So if you want to be a bartender out here, what I would recommend you doing is maybe going into a bar by your house or by your school or somewhere that you are a lot and saying, hey, I need to get some experience bartending. Can I just come and volunteer for you maybe a couple of hours a week and unpaid, just so I can get experience, so that when I move to Ireland, I can say I have experience and I at least have some basic understanding of what to do. And I doubt that very many places are going to say no to that. There might be some, but if you walk into a few, I'm sure that they're going to let that happen. So that's what I would recommend. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I've been putting this subscribe button in the top right corner lately of the screen, or is it left corner? I think top left corner where I'm pointing. So don't forget to hit that and subscribe to my channel if you are looking into working holiday visa. And yeah, I will see you guys in part 2, which is going to be about the trial runs and how to succeed in them and get the job.